Hi everyone, welcome back to STEAMkids with Washington County Public Library. My name is Rhiannon and I am so excited to teach you all a little bit about ice today. So as I mentioned, our lesson today is all about ice. Now, as you may know, ice is the solid form of water, and there are 3 different states that water can be in. Water is also known as H2O. That's the chemical compound that makes up water. It's made of 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So as a liquid, H2O is our old pal water. That's what we drink, we take a bath in, we wash our hands with, and what falls from the sky when it rains. So next we have the solid form, which is ice. Liquid water turns into a solid when it is at its freezing point, or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And then on the opposite side, water turns into a gas, or water vapor at its boiling point, which is 212 degrees. And water vapor is what makes our air sticky or muggy in the summertime. And when they have a ton of water vapor and it gets cold high up in the sky, it can condense or come together into a cloud. And then when that cloud gets super heavy, it can turn back into a liquid and come down as rain or come down as a solid in the form of snow. So I have a fun question for you. Is ice a rock? What do you think? The answer is sometimes. So glaciers, or huge chunks of ice that are formed thousands of years ago by compacted snow, is considered a type of rock. Glaciers are the crystalline form of water, or when water forms crystals. And that happens when snowflakes join together, when all those different arms of a snowflake fit together, and they form a giant crystal of ice. Glaciers are considered a monomineralic rock, meaning there's only one mineral that makes up the rock. The mineral is water. Another kind of monomineralic rock that's really common around here is limestone. Limestone is made of only calcite. So now you may be wondering, what about my ice cubes at home? Are they considered rocks? Well, actually, no. The water that we use to create ice has lots of different things that are dissolved inside it. Things like gases and different types of minerals. In glacier ice, as the snow forms and it comes together, all of those impurities or things that are dissolved in the water end up getting pushed out. And that makes the ice crystals super pure. But when we freeze ice in ice cubes, the ice forms not like snow, but it forms from the outside in, freezing in that ice cube shape. And that causes all of the things dissolved in the water to be pushed into the center of the ice cube. And that's why sometimes there are cloudy spots in the middle of our ice cubes. Glaciers are super important for the health of animals, for us humans, and also for the Earth as a whole. 2.1% of the world's water is frozen in glaciers. While that may seem like a really small number, 2.1% of the trillions and billions and gajillions of gallons of water that are on Earth is a lot of water. So over 97% is in the oceans, but that 97% is salt water, which means us humans and some animals like mammals and birds can't use salt water. So 3/4 of the world's fresh water is actually stored in glaciers. And many places and animals get their clean, fresh water from glaciers. And for the ecosystems that glaciers are in, they provide the water in the dry months when it doesn't rain or snow. And the cold water from glaciers also affects the water temperature farther downstream. Certain things, especially delicate insects, can't live in really warm water, so they rely on that super cold glacier water to bring down the temperature. And these glaciers are melting really fast. And if they melt too quickly, the water temperature will rise and some animals and bugs won't be able to live. We have tons of scientists all over the world who are looking into the melting glaciers and how we can help stop or slow down their melting. So, there are quite a few different types of animals that live near glaciers and near glaciers all over the world. The most common mammals are ungulates, which is a certain kind of animal that have split hooves, and the ones that we see the most are cows and deer. But there are other kinds, too, that are really common near glaciers, including reindeer, musk ox, bison, mountain goats, and those big horned sheep that have really big horns. But there are also different kinds of predators that live near glaciers. We have things like grizzly bears and polar bears and cute fuzzy snow leopards and wolverines. And so all of these animals and many more rely on glaciers to beat the heat and survive. And as glaciers melt, the land they live on gets smaller and smaller. Now that we've learned a little bit about the science behind ice and about glaciers and how important they are for the Earth, we're going to be working on creating ice lanterns using a little bit of engineering. So, included in your STEAMkids kit that you picked up from the Washington County Public Library, you're going to have a couple of materials you need. The first is a larger sized cup. The second is a smaller sized cup. You'll also have a variety of pom-poms. These are important. And you're also going to have 2 pipe cleaners. So, the engineering part of our ice lantern is we want to create a structure that will help hold some of these pom-poms in place when we put in the water. And we also want to create a really pretty looking lantern because all these things are going to get frozen in our ice and we want to be able to see them. So, you can create a wide variety of structures inside of your ice lantern that can give it a really cool look. One that I recommend and that I really like is combining these 2 pipe cleaners. So twist the ends together. There we go. And then I'm going to create a spiral with these. I'm going to wrap these around my fingers to end up making a spiral. And then I'm going to spread it out because I want it to spiral up the sides of my cup. Yeah, kind of like that. So I'm going to place this into my cup so that it's spiraling up. Oh, I like that. So now I'm going to add in my pom-poms and I'm going to kind of try and wedge them in and put them underneath some of the pipe cleaners. Because when we add our water in, it may move some stuff around. So we want to kind of try to keep them together where we want them. But do know that when you add the water, things are going to get moved around. All right. So I have my pom-poms now added to my cup. So you have your second cup here. That is going to go right on top and it's going to float on top of the water you're going to add to this. So when we add our water to this cup, we don't want to fill it all the way up to the top. We want to leave a little bit of space at the top. We want to fill it up to about here so that our ice can expand. Because when water freezes at its freezing point, it expands when it turns into ice. And we don't want to mess all over our freezer. So I'm going to go fill up my cup with water and I'll be right back. All right. So I have added my water to my cup and I left a nice gap up at the top. So the next thing we are going to need that's not included in your kit is some tape. So I'm going to place my small cup inside my large cup, and it's just floating on the top. But I want to make sure that it stays down in the water. So to hold it in place, I'm going to use some tape. And I'm going to tape it across the center. Yeah, it's taped down there. And I'm going to place one more piece of tape going the opposite direction. There. Made a crisscross across the cups there. And that will hold my smaller cup in place. So now comes the hard part. We have to wait. We have to take this cup and put it in the freezer and wait for it to freeze. So I will see you back here when my cup is all frozen. All right. Hi, everyone. I am back now the next day after my ice lantern has fully frozen solid. So here is what it looks like. So we can see it's nice and frozen. And something interesting has happened. When I taped down my cups, they were totally flush at the same level. I wanted them to stay down. But as the ice froze, this inner cup raised up and up and up. That's because as ice freezes, it expands and it can push things. And since it expanded, it pushed the cup upwards. So let's see how our lantern looks. Your lantern may be kind of stuck to either of these cups, so maybe a little bit of warm running water can help to get it unstuck. I'm going to take my tape off first. All right. Ooh, okay, so my outside of the lantern come out just fine, and you can see the swirl of my pipe cleaners, which I really like. That was what I was hoping for. And now I'm going to try to push. Ah, there we go. And you can see it's a lot more clear on the inside, which is so cool. Ah, but it's also dripping. That's the fun part, and fun part about ice. It does melt. And so now I have liquid water all over the place. But these can be a super fun decoration to put outside of your home in the wintertime when it is so cold. This morning it was so cold, and this would look so pretty outside with a little tea light candle in it. You can put a real tea light candle in it if you are really careful and use adult help, or you can use a battery operated one and it wouldn't melt it as much with a hot candle. So I hope that you have enjoyed this STEAMkids lesson making an engineering ice lantern together with the Washington County Public Library. I've had so much fun doing this project, and I hope to see you back next month for our next take-home STEAMkids craft. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye!